Debt to GDP ratio is about 64%.
But the debt is 12 trillion shillings, actually more than that now, based on the latest bulletin by CBK.
It depends on how you calculate debt to GDP ratio in terms of present value terms. Sam.
No, it's okay.
When I come here,
what is the GDP that you're dealing with? The
present value terms.
Which is?
It's 64% in that region.
The GDP. What is the size of Kenya's GDP?
GDP, I think, is about 17 trillion shillings.
17 trillion shillings.
Yes, 17.
And if the public debt is 12, so 12 divided by 17, unless I'm doing the wrong thing, gives you 70.5%.
No, our debt level in terms of present value terms is 64%. Okay?
How do you calculate that?
How you calculate?
How do you get 64%? That's what I'm asking.
That's why I'm telling you there is the value of debt in present value terms. You discount the debt.
Which is?
You discount the debt. So if I knew you are going to ask that question, I would have come to the exact GDP as of today, okay, and projected GDP, and the debts as it is today in present value terms. Okay? So, because you see, Sam, the reason why, you know what, we are going to lose this discussion. Why? Because if you have a debt today, I don't know whether you want me to explain this.
Yes.
If you have a debt today of a Eurobond, okay, which is, say, $2 billion, let's say 200 billion, and is supposed to be paid in installments, there is what we call the present value of that debt today. The present value of that debt today, because this 200 billion, you will pay it as 200 billion. If you pay 100 billion 2 years from today, it will still be 100 billion. If you discount that 100 billion into present value, it will be about 70 billion or 80 billion or something like that. So don't just go and look at the debt in the book.
So how much is the public debt in Kenya today?
In terms of present value?
Whatever terms.
The debt is about 12 trillion. But if you discount it to present value terms, that's why I was telling you, next time you invite me, you want to ask me that question. If you discount it to present value terms, I would discount it and bring it to you.
Oh, you don't know what it is?
Yes,
in present
I would discount it and tell you this is the net present, this is the present value of this debt today.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
We'll follow up with you on that calculation, because you see, it's a big question. The public debt is a big question that majority...
You will not understand some public debt in that kind of... If you take it in straight line and get...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Waziri. That's a tech...
So the simple answer is debt in present value terms, you have to do some calculations, some permutations, some arithmetic by discounting.
Which I'm saying we will do, just not now. And then you report to Kenyans so that they understand.
But what I want you to leave here with is that our debt to GDP has gone down from 72% to present about 64%. And this 72% was also based on present value terms. Okay. If you take the absolute numbers as you are putting it, it could have been higher. It could have even been approaching 100%.
Okay, we'll hold you to it and we'll get back to you on those questions. Now, as you say this, there is a new way of accumulating debt, and has also raised a couple of questions I'm sure you have been having from different personalities, both professionals and political leaders. The PPPs, the securitization of the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, what does that do to the amount of money that we have to pay eventually as Kenyans, but not exactly documented as we are talking about the public debt now?
Why do you mean not documented?
I'm saying...
Are you borrowing the language of some naysayers of securitization?
Just listen to the question.
Yes.
The public debt, according to Central Bank of Kenya, the bulletin of 21st of November, gives it about 12.05 trillion shillings.
Yes.
But that is as of September 2025. That's what is known by CBK. The securitization of the RMLF is not captured there. The public-private partnerships that we've had, whether it's the expressway or now what is happening with the Rironi Summit Road, is not captured there. Is that so?
So, yes, that is correct.
So what does that do? Because in essence, we are indebted beyond what would be declared by National Treasury or CBK.
You know, there is a way of categorizing debts. Debts can either be express debts or contingent liability. Where, for example, you guarantee a debt and the risk is on the sovereign. Okay? So if there is a risk on the sovereign, it becomes a debt automatically. Now, the cases that you are citing, there is no risk on the sovereign. Let me give you an example of this road maintenance levy fund. The road maintenance levy fund, there is a stream of revenue that we would have received of 7 shillings. It was not there. We used to have 18 shillings. But 7 shillings was added. The 7 shillings was not there before. We took a decision to sell our rights. It's like selling an asset. We are selling our rights by getting money in advance, of course at a cost, because no one would just give you money without a cost. So we created an SPV, a special purpose vehicle, where we sold the rights. Now the SPV is the one now with the risk of possible failure. If the money is not collected for whatever reason, the revenue shortfall, that risk automatically goes to SPV and not to the sovereign, which is the country Kenya. Now with that, we have eliminated the risk. It cannot become a debt on us anymore. And that is the position of the National Treasury, and that's the position of the government of Kenya. And there is nothing really wrong with that, because this money, when the 7 shilling is collected, it goes direct to that SPV. We don't have a right anymore on that money. And we cannot even amend the law to change the arrangement. We are not allowed to do that.
It is for how long?
For I think it's about 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
At what cost?
At what cost? The interest rate was about 7.9%.
So we are at a situation where it is inevitable that our predictions of debt default are coming.
Other countries which are not doing debt restructuring but are in programs, I'm going to quote the case of Kenya. Kenya's tried very hard to avoid a default, but in so doing, the IMF has steadily increased the medium-term primary balance target that Kenya has to hit, which is why every Kenyan tax is going up and up and up. It's now at the point, according to this analysis, where I would say Kenya is on the cusp where the right thing for it to do is default and to go into a restructuring to get its medium term done.
I have indicated that Kenya is borrowing 1.25 trillion shillings every year. But even the developments that we are seeing, including the expansion of Nairobi-Nakuru Highway, we now have had to force NSSF to invest workers' resources in that road, while the government knows for sure it will never break even. Now that we are selling a stake in Safaricom, why can't the government provide that road for free to all the people in the western side of this country? Must we package it as a commercial project? Now that we have another source of the sale of Safaricom stake, why can't the government invest some of this money into a road, and especially Nairobi Mau Summit Road? Why? That a Kenyan in the western part of this country, from Nakuru all the way, who pays pay, who pays VAT, who pays fuel levy, again is made by government to build their own road. Because paying toll is basically government abdicating its job to provide public goods and telling Kenyans, tumewaletea hawa watu mujisort mujenge nao barabara. That's basically what the government has done in that road. And we are going to keep on talking about this issue, that the people from Nakuru all the way deserve, like any other Kenyan, to use that road for free without tolling. Because we are borrowing every day, we are borrowing both in the book and off the book, we are now selling government stakes, then why again make Kenyans to pay for the road?
If you were president today, what would be the 1, 2, 3 things that you would do to solve the crisis in the country?
I'll tell you, the first thing is that I would cut off the chain of debt Because I want you to understand that in as much as all this is going on, I told you we only had the deficit of 1.3. Kenyans, up until today, have paid 9.8 trillion towards that debt and still owe 11 trillion. It is something I would cut off like yesterday. And that frees up government money to be able to provide services to Kenyans and stimulate the economy by taking money back to the people. And that is what you call now economic liberation. The one thing that has not been understood by many people up until today is what period we're in. We went through the political rights period, which is about cutting up this cake for seats, as they are trying to do now. Nobody cares about it because we passed it. The 2010 Constitution gave us our rights. Now we are into the economic rights period, where we define economic models about the bakers of the cake. I, for example, am a capitalist who believes in the essence of social democracy, social justice. Okay? And I must create my model. This is the defining moment of ideological economy, ideological politics. I myself will be very interested to see the private sector be the driver. So I'll never take their money. I don't need it.